Hey, what's up, everybody? Back with another video here today. Couple games in the ever classic channel favorite, I guess, personal favorite, LTTB. These games are, again, a bit old. I'm busy, but still two good games. But they both have a little bit of a unique trait to them. You're probably going to see me be a bit of a scumbag in two kind of ways. And I'll point them out when they come up. They're kind of obvious, I guess, but we're going to take, the usual kind of positioning I like on this map. It's very much just spotting, kind of scouting at the beginning. Just patrolling this ridge line, seeing if I can light them up, see which way they're going, get a general idea, and maybe pounce on somebody if they overcommit or I can get side shots onto them. This is a little more aggressive than I'm usually used to, especially since this is a tier 10 game, I'm fairly certain. So doing this is a little ballsy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't totally agree with this play. It's semi-working, mainly because the Sheridan went in as well, so that's the main reason I also went in. I would say, just based off why I did that. Not a recommended strategy. Being that aggressive, you can get punished really easily for that type of stuff, but said it was mostly just because our tier 10 went in, I kind of went in, and they only had 2 tanks there, and we only had 2 tanks, so it's not the worst decision. You also see that we got the RU baited to come back towards my heavies and 1 TD, so we were able to get him out of the game as well by making him basically chase us, which is a nice. So it was just a 1-for-1 trade, minus it was a tier 9 for a tier 10, but still alright with in my book. And you can kind of see at this point in the game, they've all decided, and this is kind of an issue with this map now, from their spawn, they all kind of start off in a corner, and not in the middle of the map like they used to on their side. So it kind of makes it so they levitate towards the other side and not the side that we're on right now. So you generally, the way I find most of these games play out on Con, is your team comes up on the ridge, usually can push around the left side quite easily because they don't send many tanks over there, or if they do, they're very late getting there, and generally they push up what would be, from my spawn, the right side. So it's kind of like a circle, but sometimes if your team sends tanks to the right as well, they can just get bogged down and basically encircle. So I kind of wish they changed the spawns back. It doesn't really make sense to me right now why one team spawns in the middle on their side and the other spawns kind of in a corner. Just a little, I don't understand moment, I guess. But yeah. And now we're playing a little ballsy. Just trying to keep cover between me and the tanks that are all right there. There's about 4 to 5 of them. But I kind of spot somewhat of an opening here. We're still losing. But this is risky right here, but I'm guessing the Bat Chat is distracted and dumping his clip. And it looks like he's dumped his clip just by how he's playing. And he's running away. So now we can just chase him, put shots into him. Unfortunately, our teammate shot right there. Don't want to do that, not really the plan. But we're just going to chase this guy down and try to get him out. We're just going to ignore the Hawk. Well, sort of. I'm going to ram him because his tank weighs nothing compared to mine. And then we're going to try to take out... No, he gets out if he gets away. Just kind of a quick decision there. The Bat Chat was going to get away, and he wasn't focused on me, while the Hawk was. So rather than keep chasing the guy and let somebody else shoot me, yeah, I'm going to ram him where I have the ramming ability. He does not. He has basically no armor. He weighs nothing. And we're going to Yeah, basically that. And now we get to pick on a mouse, which is very fun. Always fun to do. You like tanks, especially bottom tier. And yeah, never gonna fumble that situation. A mouse in the middle of the field. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. This game's still close. And at this point, all their tanks are on the other side, basically. And there's a very strong, fairly strong argument to cap at this point. We have 2 tanks that are going to go sit in the cap right now. And I could too, and it'd be a 45-second timer. But that's not how I like to play the game. So, yeah, we could easily win this. I'm going to be... what's the word for it? Kind of an ass, I guess. Overconfident and just a bit greedy. There we go. Yeah, just going to be a little greedy here. Just to give you a reference, I've probably gotten an invader medal I think it's 5 times in over 30,000 games. So yeah, and probably 2 or 3 of those are when it was like 1v5s, and I just capped that for a call of ban-offs. So there is a time and place for it. I'm not saying I haven't done it. There's other infinite, but I'm not trying to justify it. I'm just trying to explain it basically. I don't like capping. It's not why I play the game. I don't play the game, me personally, to sit in a cap circle. I like to challenge myself, see if I can beat the other team, basically. And again, there could be a very strong inclination here. This is not the right play, but I still feel like I can win this, especially when I have all their tanks rears. It's very nice, and they're basically forced to give me the rear. So I feel like it's still not a bad play, just because they're capping, so I have free shots, free reign onto them for the most part. If the gun cooperates. Another issue with this is I don't have tons and tons of ammo, so when I miss or bounce off of the rear T-30s, because American hull rear armor is troll, that I could lose just from the sheer fact that I don't have enough ammo to kill all the remaining tanks. But again, I'm not too worried about that. I can kind of see I have enough at this point, as long as I make all these count and pen. Somehow he takes out that guy, I don't know, but it's basically just a situation of I'm competitive. I don't like doing that. It's personal preferences, I guess. But that's enough trying to cover my ass. That's kind of the issue with this game. If you want to say it's a real bad habit. Yeah. There's worse things I could do in this game. Like almost getting dirt by this guy. But again, we're not going to fumble it now. He's fired, and we're going to take him down in a second. And take him off the board. And like I said, we're up to 4,400 damage, just under 1,000 assisted, and now it's just to take out the arty. Another thing with capping, I don't always agree that everybody should be on the cap in those type of situations. And that's mostly just because I think sometimes you need like a layered defense, basically. If you just put everybody on the cap, they're not going to have any resistance getting there. So if you're in a tank, like a heavy or something like that, and there's already like 3 on the base, 1, you're not going to do anything. If there's already 3, and you think you can, even if it's like 2, and they think they can cap out in time on a regular encounter or whatever, regular standard battle, you can provide just an annoying like line of defense if you can, if you have the good armor or something like that, or a good position, sort of like I did there, and punish them for trying to move by you and kind of make it painful. And even then, when they get to the cap, they have less hit points, and it's easier for the guys in the cap possibly to defend themselves or even take out the tanks right there. So now, just I guess, is a little on that, and just kind of my mindset when it comes to the bases and stuff. Not something I've ever really covered. This is a little interesting. Kind of knew he was going to be somewhat here. We almost die here. You see he misses us by about 20 feet and still does 200 damage. And we're able to take him out and finished in a tier 10 game with just under 5,000 damage. I don't think we had any blind. But a really good result of just kind of making the right plays at the right time. Realizing when people are out of position, out of ammo, like the bat chat. And just stuff like that. So 2100 base. We got that ever important scout medal, because, you know, that's what really matters in life. And yeah, just a really good game on a map that I don't think I featured too much on here. So the next one's gonna be a little different. Another I don't want to say negative, but basically the map pushing my hand or something like that. So it's Pearl River, and some people may already kind of know where this is leading. If you've played this enough, especially in a light tank. It's basically 3 corridors. You can make an argument kind of 4, but it's not a very light tank friendly map at all. At least in this situation, as we're top tier, so that's good. But especially from this spawn, there's a certain spot that I like to get up into, and that should be a hint. It's kind of, I know it's cheesy, and it's kind of cheap. And honestly, I agree that it kind of should be patched. Because I even have another game that I want to put up at some point. I've had for several months, but I keep using this spot because I'm a bastard. But yeah, we're gonna use the hill climb in the center. If you don't know about it, this will be it. We're actually not gonna use it for that much damage for this game. I think we only get about 1,000 out of it. But this map is very rough for lights, because like I said, it's just basically 3 face-to-face brawls, and that's it. The other spawn, you can do some decent stuff. You can spot the crossing that we went through from right up here in front of me. That is possible play for lights. You can get some early damage, maybe some assisted if Artie is looking that way. From this spawn, if this spot gets removed, or when it does, I'd guess, I'd probably play the left side more for the scout role, just to light things up, hopefully on the hill camping as they move down, because it's probably the best, longest lines of sight are on that side. From this spawn, this side is not that great. I'm just going to be frank with you. So that's the main reason I use this spot, is because just, again, this map is awful for light tanks. I personally believe there's not many opportunities to really flank until maybe later in the game. Spotting is just not a thing on standard battle on this variant. I will say spotting on encounter on this map is fairly decent, but yeah, on this version, not so much. Not at all, actually. So this is good for getting some rather, I guess, cheeky damage out in the beginning of the game. Another, I guess, just warning about this. People will look up here, not hidden at all. Like, I know the Borsig right here probably sees me already. But also, you can easily kill yourself up here. I've done it several times. There's a ridgeline, like, right behind, like, to my left, where if you drop down, you can kill yourself very easily. It doesn't look like it would kill you, but it will. I've done it several times on stream as well. So my more glorious moments have come up here as well, but I've had some ridiculous games up here in lights. But the one replay I'll put up soon-ish was a tank that you probably wouldn't expect to get up here. I mean, maybe you could see it, but you wouldn't usually expect to see that big of a gun on top of this hill, basically. So at this point, I kind of, okay, we can get off the hill. There's not really anything moving. We cleared the one side. And this is just not really worth it anymore. So we're going to go back to playing the map normally. And at this point, less than just over 3 minutes in, 10 of the tanks on each side are dead, which is kind of crazy. And now we're just going to move down. Like I said, we only got about 900 damage, if that, up there, so it wasn't that effective this game. But, it's, like I said, if I had the opportunity, I'm going to go up there just in case. And just kind of abuse it. It's not my fault. But, hopefully that does get, like I said, that's one of the few ones that's kind of effective. There's other hill climbs and stuff like that. Some that should be in the game. Because they're actually part of the map. That one, I don't think that's part of the map. That shouldn't really be a thing. But now we're going to get into the more standard LTTB stuff. And just standard light tank stuff for me. So I see the champion is spotted. And he's pretty full health. And now I'm trying to look for, I think it's the VK and the AMX that are left. I'm trying to see if they're around him as well. I see he starts moving up. And he's kind of not paying attention, so we're going to pounce on him basically and try to circle him. I was really hoping to keep going forward, but he actually does the smart thing here, and that is he backs right up against the wall to prevent me from circling him, but then he pulls forward for some reason. I don't know why. Let's just go through. So we're eating one shot from him so far, and basically he's going to get one more, and that's it. So if we want to talk about trades and stuff like that, I don't want to do a whole video of that, but like, that's a good trade. I probably did, like I said, 1100 damage to him for about a little over 200. And that's just the importance of keeping your health, really, in light tanks for the end of the game. Because then you can do stuff like that, you're fine with it. And yeah, you can make effective use of your hit points, basically, instead of just wasting them in the beginning of the game. That's usually, I hate wasting hit points. It's one of the biggest things. That and ammo. Basically something really waste, but yeah. Now this play is a little questionable, just because I don't know where the AMX is, and he can technically two-shot me. So it's a little risky. I'm not worried about the VK at all in this situation. Like I said about the mouse and the Type 4, I think it was in the last game. Yeah, they're in an open field, super heavy. They're never going to, they're never going to hit me. Or at least I shouldn't let them ever hit me if I know what I'm doing. So we're able to get him out of the game. So we jacked our damage total up from 900 to 3,500 in a matter of 2 tanks. So, really good result there. A little more than 2 tanks, so we did farm the OI a little bit, I guess. But now it's just mopping up, finding the AMX, and we're going to do a little stutter step, and yeah, I'm just going to juke him out of his shoes and get around him. Do the old 1-2, and take him out of the game. I love doing stuff like that. You can literally see his gun like tracking me, and that just, it feels so good to get that kind of a play. I really do enjoy that kind of stuff when it works. It's pretty satisfying and it's just kind of fun. So we're just gonna finish off the Hummel and call it a game. Like I said, 4,200 damage on this map. I will definitely take. The majority of it actually coming from like the last 3 tanks on their team, 3 or 4 tanks on their team. So turn a mediocre start to a pretty good ace tanker game on again a map that isn't light friendly in my eyes at all. So this is a fun couple games. Again, try to get more games out for you guys, but it'd be rough because this weekend I'm fairly busy. Try to play some in the morning, and yeah, July 4th weekend I'll be going as well. So gonna be rough, but I'll try to keep getting the games out for you and the videos out, and I will see you next time. Peace.